with the weight loss, let's say, industry or the weight loss goals, they are made very confusing a lot of the time when it doesn't need to be. A lot of people are coming out with all these fad stuff and you should do this, you shouldn't do that. But it really comes down to the bare basics, and it always has. It's never been any different. And a lot of those fad diets and ways of eating are just hitting on these principles that you need to do to achieve that weight loss. It's just that people do it in a different way. But those principles are all the same and you can't get around them. It's how you lose weight. So I'm going to go over the 3 principles that I give everyone when they're trying to lose weight. And these are the levers you can pull. If you're missing one of them, you're missing a big piece of the puzzle. So you want to be hitting all 3 because they all work together concurrently and synergistically to help you lose that weight. And if you're missing out on one, you may be missing out on a big component that can be the thing that you really need to start kickstarting your weight loss journey. All right, so the 3 principles. Very first one is your daily activity and your training. So I've sort of just coupled them together as movement, your daily activity and your training. Then the second one is your calorie intake. Then the third one is your protein consumption. So this is it. These are the 3 principles that you need to go off and you need to improve to achieve that weight loss. And I'm going to go over ways that you can improve these and work on them in detail on each one. So your very first one, daily activity and your training. So with your training, to lose weight, you need to lift weight. When you're lifting weights, it's like investing money into your body to be able to withdraw that later. And then by that, I mean you're building or at least maintaining lean tissue so that later on down the track, when you've done that long enough, throughout the day, you're going to be burning more calories. So this is the biggest part of your day that you burn calories is throughout the day with your metabolism and your just daily activity of just moving around. If you've got more lean tissue when you're doing all of those daily activities, you are going to burn a shit ton more calories compared to someone that just goes for an hour and just absolutely crushes themselves in a cardio session. That is just burning calories in that 1 hour, let alone the rest of the 23 hours of the day. So it doesn't matter how hard that session is. If the rest of your day is just sitting around because you've just crushed yourself in the gym, doing a whole heap of high intensity cardio training, now for the rest of the day, what your body does is it compensates for it. So what you do is you sit around, you're too tired to do anything. So now you're not moving throughout the day. So you're losing all that calorie burn. And chances are you're going to go to the fridge and eat something very sugary or fatty because you feel like you need that energy boost. And you're going to be snacking a lot more. So the big winner when it comes to weight loss with training is to be getting in and lifting weights to lose weight. Getting in and with the goal to build muscle and build that muscle so that throughout the rest of the day, you're going to be burning a lot more calories because you've got that more lean tissue. And that's why you'll see all the time, like there'll be people that have trained their entire life and they'll be very lean and they can eat nearly whatever they want through the day and they barely put any weight on because their metabolism is so high throughout the day. They're burning a shit ton more, even if a guy next to him is weighing exactly the same amount of weight, but he's got a lot more fat on him. The leaner guy is going to be sitting there burning a shit ton more calories through the day. And then if you increase that movement through the day by going on some walks, you're just stacking on top of this. This is something that you can be really consistent with rather than some high intensity cardio that you do for an hour and it just crushes you and it's got a very, very big recovery cost. If you include some walks throughout the day to increase your movement, this is something that you don't need to recover from. It's going to help you recover. It's going to help with digestion. It's going to help with all round health and longevity aspects, but it's going to help you burn more calories because you're going to do it more consistently every single day. If you do it enough throughout the day, your calorie burn will be much higher than if you were to just go out and smash yourself once or twice through the week with some high intensity cardio. A really good method there's a couple of different ways you can go about including some more activity. So more walking throughout the day. And It doesn't have to be walking either. If you like cycling, go off and do some cycling. But we want to keep it at that low intensity, the intensity you'd feel if you were to go out for a walk. That's how you should feel when you're doing this sort of stuff. It comes with no recovery cost, and it's just getting that additional movement through the day. They count it as NEAT, so non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So you're pretty much burning calories, but it's not essentially exercising. It's not there to build your fitness. It's just there as more movement through the day. If you drive to work, you can park 10 minutes away from work, walk to work, do work for the day, walk back to your car. That's 20 more minutes you've just walked throughout the day. And then including the rest of your movement that you do for the day and your training or whatever you do on top, that is awesome. If you do that consistently every day, think of how much that stacks up over time. That's something that I did a lot when I didn't work at home, but I've always done it growing up. Is I'd catch public transport or somehow get closer to where I needed to be, or I used it as a challenge to try to get to work. I used to ride 30 Ks from Maitland to Newcastle, and then I'd catch the train back home if I needed to get back a little bit quicker to get some training in. But you can start implementing this sort of stuff just in your daily life. So, it's something as simple as parking 10 minutes away from work and forcing yourself to walk the rest of that way. It is nothing in your day, 10 minutes. And then you've got to walk back. You don't have a choice. Your motivation, it doesn't matter at that point. You've got to walk back to your car. So that's a really easy way to implement it. If you want to have a 30-minute overall walk in the day, you can do that 10-minute one. You can do a 10-minute one at lunch. Then you can do a 10-minute one when you finish. Or you can increase it to a 15-minute walk to work. Whatever works for you. But I found that 10-minute walk is just so easy because it's such a short amount of time. You have no excuse not to do it. When you start to extend it out and do some longer walks, like 15, 20, 30-minute walks, it sort of has that little bit of an excuse like, oh, I don't really have the time to do that today. But if you're just breaking it up into 10-minute walks, you don't have an excuse. Everyone's got that 10 minutes to throw it in there. If you don't, then something's going wrong. Don't scroll on your phone for 10 minutes and go for that 10-minute walk, all right? So including that daily walk. If you work from home, you can do it around your block. I do that. I do it every morning and I do it every lunchtime. I take my dog around and go for a walk, 10 minutes. And for others, it may be a good habit stacking thing after your main meals. So if you've got a treadmill at home, I was talking to Craig the other night, and he's got a treadmill at home, and we've suggested to do some 10-minute walks after breakfast and dinner. And then if you can slot one in there for lunchtimes, that's awesome as well. It'll help with digestion and overall health as well. But yeah, stacking it onto another habit. Like I've just eaten my main meal. Now I'll get on and I'll do my 10-minute walk and then just go about my day and finish off whatever I need to do. If you have to get up 10 minutes earlier to go for your 10-minute walk in the day, it's not that big of a deal. Unless you're someone like Andrew that's getting 4 hours of sleep every night, then that's a different case altogether. But that's something to look at, is just increasing your daily movement. It's a very powerful thing, and making sure you're doing your weights training. Number 2 is the calorie intake. So this is the be all end all. It's the calories in versus calorie out that dictates whether you're going to lose weight or not. Then it comes to the training with the weights training and your protein, whether you're actually going to be maintaining or building a little bit of muscle along the way. So to lose weight, your calories in, which means the food that you're eating and the energy that all of that food has, needs to be less than what you're actually burning. So if you're increasing your daily activity and you're building some lean tissue, you're going to be bumping up those calories out slightly. But you can never outdo a shit diet. There's that saying, if you can't outrun a bad diet, and it is so true. You'll go out for a 30-minute run, come back, eat 2 pieces of toast, and you've just ruined that. Like you've just eaten the amount of calories you've just burnt. It is so hard to outdo what you can actually eat, because you can consume so much more energy than what you can actually burn through the day. So you need to be really conscious of that. It's so easy to out-eat what you're actually doing. And if you are trying to lose weight, and it is a big goal of yours, you need to be strict with this. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. You need to be strict with it initially. And then once you get down to your goal weight, if you do it properly and you maintain your muscle when you get down to that weight, it is so much easier to maintain a weight compared to loser weight, because you need to be in a calorie deficit. You need to be in an energy deficit to achieve that. And it's hard work. It takes a lot of discipline to do, but it's well worth it, especially if you're trying to join the defense force and you're trying to drop some weight to be within the BMI, or just trying to drop some fat and look a little bit better, feel a little bit better, perform a bit better. It takes that discipline, a little bit of strictness with your diet over, however long it takes to achieve that goal. And then when you get there, it's like, sweet, you don't bounce all the way back up because you would have learned all these healthy habits and done it properly. And it's easy to maintain once you're actually there, because your maintenance calories will be a lot higher than what your actual weight loss calories are, because you need to be in that energy deficit, whereas your maintenance can be up here. So ways that we can do this, a really simple way is to reduce fats. So if you're drinking full cream milk, if you're adding a lot of oils, if you're adding a lot of sauces, because they have fats in them as well, if you're adding any cheeses, anything that's high fat is a really simple place to start, to just fuck it off, and you'll drop your calories a massive amount straight away. Other things to start doing to start improving your calorie intake: eat plenty of fruit and veg through the day. The reason for this, and with your meals and things like that, the reason for this is full of fiber. They're very low in calories, so it's hard to overconsume calories with them. And it makes you feel full throughout the day. So you're not likely to go off and eat like a very high calorie dense food, or reach for cookies or anything like that. So if you start to fill out your day a little bit more with a lot more fruit and veg, and your meals, you're filling them up with a lot of veg, you're going to feel a hell of a lot fuller and less likely to reach for more food. And it's going to be lowering those calories down further. It's called volumizing your food. So you're volumizing in something that's really low in calories and getting rid of all those fats and everything else that are high in calories. So we can eat more fruit and veg. We can reduce portion sizes. Really simple way to go about it. If you haven't seen in the enhanced nutrition package that you've, again, got access to in your True Coach docs, jump into the enhanced nutrition package. And in there's a lesson, the perfect plate. And it'll show you some portions that you can just visualize on your plate, rather than, like, you don't have to be doing any calorie counting or anything like that. You can just visualize what your plate should look like, and it'll be sitting you in a pretty good position with portion control. So that's, if you're and sometimes you don't even know that you're overeating because you've eaten that way for so long. So it just may take just dropping those portions down, or dropping the high calorie stuff, like I said, with the fats, and even dropping your carbs down a tiny bit as well, and increasing it by adding some fruit, some vegetables in there. And then that way you'll feel like you're still eating a hell of a lot, but the calories won't be high. Reducing snacks, pretty obvious one. If you're doing a lot of snacks, fucking reassess your goal and be like, okay, I need to be more disciplined. And when you're going to be hungry, it's a part of being in a calorie deficit. Your body is essentially starving itself, and it's using the fuel that it's got in the form of fat to pick up with that energy deficit that you're creating. So you're going to be hungry. It's just a part of it. And when you start to sort of connect that, it's a good thing to be hungry, because now I'm burning that fat. It's sort of a good mindset to have, because rather than just thinking, fuck, I'm hungry, I want to eat some food. If you can connect that with, oh, sweet, this is going to be a good thing because I'm going to be losing some weight because of this, then it's a pretty good mindset little hack to have. Reduce liquid calories. Again, this is a place to go if you're someone that's prone to be drinking a lot of calories through liquids. Calories are calories, whether they come in the form of drinks or whether they come in the form of food. It's still energy. So things like full fat milk in your coffees, that's already like 200 calories in one medium coffee, let alone a large. A large would be way more than that. And that's a 20-minute run. So reducing that down to, you don't have to completely change it out for skim milk, and you'll drop those calories way down. If you're someone that drinks alcohol, just get rid of it while you're trying to lose weight. That is something that will blow you out straight away. So there's no, just drop it down to a couple of drinks tonight. Just get rid of it altogether. All right. Put your priorities in check. Other things like even juices. So if you're having lots of fruit juices, they're pretty loaded with calories because they're very easy to consume. So yes, I did say about eating more fruit and veg, but eating an apple is completely different to drinking an apple juice, because when you're drinking apple juice, now you've consumed 20 apples in that one drink that you've had, and it's all loaded with sugar and very easy to consume, rather than just having this one apple that you feel pretty full of. All right, you see the difference there? And then any sort of soft drinks, all that really obvious stuff, it's all calories start to reduce. You can replace it with some flavored water or some flavored sparkling water, a lot of people like as well, or some lower fat options like I was talking about with the milk and the skim milk. Another option as well that really helps some people, I'm not one for this, I'm not a massive fan of it, but it helps if you are someone that is struggling to just drop your calories to a point where you're starting to lose weight. You can fast for a certain period, and that means just get rid of one of your meals, replace it with a protein shake. So I wouldn't completely get rid of it, replace it with a 100% whey protein shake or something like that. And that way you're going to get a good amount of protein in there, which will be muscle sparing. So when you're in a big calorie deficit, you're going to be still having enough protein in your body so that your muscles aren't breaking down. But yeah, that is just a way of reducing your calories for the day. So now instead of having 3 main meals for the day, you're only having the 2 main meals and a protein shake for breakfast. Okay, so it's just all about dropping the calories. It's not about fasting being this freaking be all end all wonderful thing for you. It's just about dropping the calories for the day. Okay, so that's calories. All right. Hopefully we've covered that pretty well. Now we're looking at protein consumption. So I've touched on it a fair bit already, but protein consumption is really important for maintaining and building muscle, recovering from training. And when we're recovering from training and feeling better throughout the day, we're going to move more as well without even thinking about it. So when you go in too much of a calorie deficit, that's something that I didn't highlight before. You don't want to go crazy with your calorie deficit because you want your protein consumption up nice and high. But what happens if you drop those calories way too low? You end up like this all day. You end up just a slug all day, barely moving, not wanting to do anything, probably skipping training because you've got no energy. When you do go to training, you'll have no energy, so your training session won't be that great. And then you'll be more likely to go grab some snacks and go crazy with food because you're just so hungry through the day and your body's just wanting some energy. So you got to be careful with the calories. Don't drop them too much. Just start with little bits and see what happens week to week. I like to, when I'm really trying to achieve something, I'm going day to day on those scales. If you've got a lot to lose, you should be seeing progression day to day. You will have fluctuations, but you should see the trend going down day to day. So yeah, just being really careful not to drop things too quickly. So with me saying, fasting and all that sort of stuff and dropping all these calories, don't just cut everything out and just drop your calories to near on zero. You just want to chip things away at a time and just see if it makes a difference on the scales day to day. With the protein consumption, we're going to be recovering from training. We're going to have those building blocks so that we can build that lean tissue that I was talking about so that you can burn more calories through the day. You're going to be feeling fuller throughout the day with a higher protein diet. When you consume it, it actually takes more calories to break that down and absorb into the body compared to carbs and fats. So just consuming high protein, you're actually burning calories to break that down and get it into the body. So it's sort of offsetting itself a little bit there as well, which is a pretty crazy thing. So lots of benefits to that higher protein. And you want to be aiming for at least 2.2 times your body weight in grams of protein each day. And to achieve this, I've set out this is a very basic way of eating to try to achieve a higher protein diet and low calories at the same time. So just be aware, this is just something I've put together to give you an idea. Everyone is very different with what they need, what they are currently consuming, and what you need to change to. So this is just to give you some ideas for the day to increase that protein and drop your calories. So for breakfast, we could be looking at something as simple as a protein smoothie. So with water or skim milk, something like that. Not full cream milk, because as soon as we put full cream milk in it, the calories are going to go up through the roof. So we want a protein smoothie. So we just chuck in a scoop of protein, we chuck in some fruit, add some water, whatever you want to put in there that's within those regulations that I was talking about. Low fat, high fiber, fruit, veg, protein. Find some good flavors that you enjoy. Even just chucking in a banana, some water, and a scoop of protein powder is awesome. I love it. I have just protein powder with water all the time. They all taste really good now. So that's an option for breakfast. You can have something like a frittata, which you can cook up a few days worth. A frittata is just egg. You can put in some low fat cottage cheese, a lot of veg, fill it out with some veg. This way you got a nice high protein breakfast, and you can even put some lean meat in there, some turkey, some red meat, whatever you want to put in there, just to bump that protein up a little bit, and just be cautious of the fat content. So making sure you're avoiding high fat meats, you're avoiding any sort of high fat cheeses, all those types of things, but just go ahead and make a good amount to do you for the next 3-4 days. If you want an idea for frittata, and the next one that I'm going to say as well, again, that's that recipe pack. The next one that I've been going crazy with is breakfast muffins. So this one, you make up 12 muffins at the start of the week and you're done for the week. And they've just got egg in them. They've got turkey mince, just really high protein stuff in there. There's broccoli, there's grated cheese, all sorts of stuff like that. Just working off all those principles and tips that I've been giving you there. Nice high protein, low fat, and you're good to go for the breakfast. And you make it for the whole week, and then you don't have to cook again. Then for lunches, we're looking at consuming about 150 to 200 grams of some sort of lean meat. So keeping the meat as lean as we can, some chicken breast, some lean mince, some sort of lean steaks, anything like that, any sort of lean meat, 150 to 200 grams, and have it with some salad. Bulk it up with some salad. That's all you'll need for lunch. Good source of protein, good source of fiber, and you've got your calories nice and low. Top it off with some flavored water if you want. Okay, from there, dinners, 200 grams of mince, lean mince. So aiming for the 90% and above lean mince, 200 grams. So we're getting a nice hit of, I think it's 50 to 60 grams of protein in there. And then a cup of rice to get a good amount of carbs in for our day. And then lots of veg again, right? That's as simple as it needs to be for dinner. And you can chuck, like Michael said the other night, you can just chuck on some taco seasoning and avoid those real creamy sort of sauces because they're high in fat. And then for your snacks, you can look at things like a protein shake with water. You can chuck in some fruit again. You can look at some tunas just in spring water. Don't get them in olive oil or anything like that. You can get some crackers and some low-fat cottage cheese. It's a good choice as well. And again, fruit and veg are really good for snacks. Getting some apples, getting some bananas, all those types of things. If you go off that simple meal plan and just adjust it for yourself, you'll be hitting your protein goals and losing weight at the same time. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. That's it. Your daily activity and your training, your calorie intake, and your protein consumption. Hit them 3 and you'll start seeing your results.